Hi everyone, I'm Steve. So I'm going to talk today about protein and two things about protein and things that people believe. Like, can you eat too much protein? That's one thing that a lot of people believe, that you can eat too much protein. And we'll go through some examples and so on. And the other thing is, you don't need that much protein. So, what's the minimal amount of protein that you can get away with, especially as you're aging? So, we're going to kind of gear this to seniors and people as they age. What should their protein intake be? What is too much? What's not enough? We're going to talk about that and my strategies that I use to stay healthy in my 60s. So before we get going, if you guys are interested in this type of stuff, I do a lot of interviews with nutritionists, personal trainers in our health clubs, and doctors. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about our weight loss program, which we're really excited about, use the QR code there on the screen or use the link in the description, and that will take you to where you can find out more, even fill out a questionnaire and see if it's something you're interested, if you're ready to really get the weight off and keep it off. So let's talk about protein. First, can you eat too much protein? You hear, oh, it's bad for your kidneys. You're going to blow out your kidneys. Now, maybe some people have serious kidney problems. And I'm not a doctor, so ask your doctor and do your own research. But I'm going to say good luck. Good luck trying to eat too much protein if you think you can. And I'm going to give you some examples as we go. I'll give you some examples of how much food is equivalent to so much protein and what some of the experts say we should eat. Now, what about you don't need that much? I hear a lot of fitness influencers and doctors, not a lot of people that are training and working out and trying to build their bodies and be fit. It's mostly doctors that I hear saying, well, protein's overrated. You don't need that much. I say hogwash. And we're going to get into why, and especially as you age. So once you hit 30, if you're not an exerciser and you're just going about your life, you're going to lose 3 to 8% of your muscle mass per decade. So by the time you're 80, you could have lost 30 to 50% of your muscle mass. That's a lot. That's going to affect your quality of life. It's going to affect how your brain works. It's going to affect how your body functions, because lean body mass is very, very important. And the more we can keep as we age, the better we're going to be, the healthier we're going to be. So why does this happen? Why do we lose this lean body mass? Well, for one, we're not exercising and eating right and so on. But there's something called anabolic resistance. And the mTOR pathways become less responsive. So what does that mean? When I'm interviewing people, I'm going to say, okay, now tell us what that really means. What that really means for you and me is that our bodies aren't as efficient when we're 70 compared to when we're 20. That's just common sense. They don't work the same, but we can keep them working the same. We have to put in a little more effort and keep our focus on certain things like protein. Now, I'm a person that thinks we need more protein than what most influencers probably think. The protein is so important because the protein breaks down into amino acids. That's what our body needs. The protein breaks down into the amino acids, and your body takes those amino acids and put them back into protein chains depending on what our body needs. So the protein is important for recovery from illness. Maybe you're going into a surgery or you're working out and you want to recover. The protein is so important for those things to help our body recover better. for weight management. We've got to have enough protein breaking down into those amino acids so that we can stay healthy. So how much should we eat? Well, a couple doctors that I like and I kind of watch on YouTube, Peter Attia and Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. I like her a lot. And I guess it's kind of because they promote my biases, I guess. So they're both similar, but they're going to say that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, per pound of desired body weight, they're both going to be in that ballpark. So that means if you're a woman and you want to weigh 130 pounds, you would eat 130 grams of protein a day. That's way more than you think it is, especially if you're not focused on it, if you're not focused on high density protein foods. So, and as you age, it's even more important. And because we don't get as much protein. Why? Not only do I think we need more, I'm going to tell you a simple reason why we don't get enough protein, because we don't eat as much. When I was younger, eating 5,000-6,000 calories a day, I didn't have to worry about my protein. I didn't have to count it. Oh, I don't have to wonder, did I get enough protein today? Yes, I did. If I'm eating 6,000 calories and drinking a gallon of milk every day, I'm getting plenty of protein. So you have to focus on the protein, because when you're eating 1,500 calories, maybe 2,000 calories, which us older adults are probably eating, if we're eating clean. Now, if you're eating junk, if you're eating pie, if you're eating cake and candy and desserts and processed foods, chips, you can easily get to 3,500 calories and still be hungry, even if you're older. But if you're not, if you're eating healthy, you're probably not getting as many calories as you might think, maybe 1,500, 2,000, because we just don't eat as much. And so when you're eating less, you're not getting the protein unless you're focusing on it. I use my mother-in-law as an example. My wife will call her and say, "Mom, did you get enough protein today?" She'll say, "Yes, I had an egg and some peanut butter." Well, that's not enough protein. That's nothing. That's not even 10 grams of protein probably. So also there's a new study on how much should we eat at a time. A study done by Tromulin is very interesting that I see a lot of fitness influencers talking about. You can eat as much as 100 grams of protein and your body can process it and synthesize it, because you've got 12 hours. You've got a 12-hour window for your body to do what it needs to do with that protein. And I'm going to show you a little hack that I use, something that I use to make sure I get enough protein and to make sure that my body is getting enough amino acids from the protein to do what it wants to do. So 100 grams of protein, they found that in this study that especially older people, that they were processing that. And so it kind of debunks the myth that you can only process or synthesize 30 grams of protein at a time in a 4-hour span. No, this is a 12-hour span, this study showed. And that's why I think a lot of influencers are talking about it. That's a lot of protein. I'm going to get to how much protein 100 grams of protein is in a minute here too. So a 12-hour period, that means you could eat it at the beginning of the day and your body's going to use that protein. You can eat it in the middle of the day. It's going to use it through the night and apply it to where it needs to go. So remember, your body takes a protein chain, breaks it apart into amino acids, and then puts those amino acids from, we'll call the amino acid pool, back together to make enzymes and all the things your body needs. So you have to get in all of the essential amino acids. The essential amino acids are amino acids that you have to eat. And then when you eat them, your body can make all the other amino acids that aren't essential. So how much is 100 grams of protein? Well, it's 8 ounces of chicken breast. That's a half a pound of chicken breast, and 6 ounces of shrimp. That's about 100 grams. But all you ate was protein. Chicken is protein dense and shrimp is protein dense. If you ate red meat, or if you ate, ground beef or something like that, there's some fat in there. So per calorie, there's less protein if you factor it out, or per the ounces that you're eating. So that's a lot of protein. And again, if you're a man and you want to weigh 180, you weigh 200, and you think 180 is the right weight for you, that's 180 grams of protein. Well, that kind of puts it in perspective right there. 8 ounces of chicken breast and 6 ounces of shrimp, you're at about 100 grams. You need another 80 for the day. And that's not easy. So it also kind of goes to, can you eat too much protein? I doubt it. If you think you can, good luck. So we talked about as we get older, we don't eat as much. But can you eat too much protein? Okay, if you're eating 1,500 calories, 2,000 calories, and it was all lean protein, just protein, like I just mentioned, chicken and shrimp, to get 350 grams of protein, which is a lot. That's plenty, enough for everyone. But and I don't recommend eating that much. And, I'm talking from my experience. I've been working out, been in the gym since I was 12 and training, and I was a skinny little kid trying to get bigger, trying to eat the right protein, taking supplements and working out really hard to try and get bigger and, play sports and all that stuff. So I'm relating it to what's worked for me, and my body has changed. My body is different. When I was 22, it was different than when I am now in what I am now in my 60s. So too much protein. If you ate 2 pounds of chicken breasts, 2 pounds, and a pound of shrimp, you'd be at about 300, and you'd be a little under 350 grams of protein. And that's if you're eating 1,500 calories and it was all protein, which isn't possible, really. But that's a lot of food. So that's why I say good luck trying to eat too much protein. And if you don't pay attention to it, most people, especially older, 60s, 70s, 80s, they're not even getting 100 grams of protein if they're not focused on their protein. So I'm going to show you or tell you about a few things that I do to make sure, and I'll use a prop here. This is going to be a protein chain, which is a protein, and I'm going to kind of break it down and show you how it works. So with these new studies out, what do these influencers recommend? Well, 60 to 90 minutes before, get some protein, and then the same after. Now, here's my hack that I use to make sure, because it's hard for me focusing on this a lot of times just to get 150 grams of protein. And sometimes you just don't feel like eating that much protein because you don't want to eat that much food. So we'll call this a protein. And these beads that are connected together, they are amino acids. So you have to get enough essential amino acids. And so when you eat the protein chain is broken up into singular amino acids, and they go into your amino acid pool. So you can see all those nice essential amino acids are in there. And then your body's going to take those amino acids and put them back into a protein chain that it needs. That might be an enzyme, and enzymes have to do with all the chemical reactions in your body. Amino acids, do a little research of your own. They do everything in your body, from brain function to your muscles to everything. And enzymes, what do? Well, those are amino acid chains, and they have to do with things like everything from your gut to, again, how your brain functions and how things fire. So that's how important amino acids are. So what do? Here's what I do. When I eat a meal, like for instance, I'll tell you how I start off my morning. I'll have a protein shake, and I'll do a serving and a half. So now I'm at about 45 grams of protein in that protein shake. That's a pretty good start. And sometimes I'll put a raw egg in it. That'll add 6 grams. If I put 2 in, that'll add 12 grams of protein on top of that. So I'm at maybe 55 grams of protein now. So then I'll take amino acid formulas, essential amino acid formulas that have all the essential amino acids. I'll use a powdered form, and I use capsules. So I'll take 2 capsules of leucine. If I don't spike my protein shake with leucine powder, which I do because leucine is the key to metabolizing and building muscle, to breaking this down and to synthesizing the protein and building muscle. Leucine is critical. So I'll take 2 capsules of the leucine, 2 capsules of branched chain amino acids, and then 4 capsules of essential amino acids to make sure I've got them all on top of the protein, which I already do. And a lot of fitness influencers say you're wasting your money. I don't care. I see it as an insurance policy. If I don't crash my car, I don't need my auto insurance, but I still want the auto insurance just to be safe. So I use the essential amino acids and the different amino acid formulas before and after a meal, and I'll use it before and after a workout to make sure that my amino acid pool is full and that my body has all the essential amino acids that it wants. That's really important. So now my body's breaking down protein chains, and it's adding to the amino acid pool. And that amino acid pool, I've added to it by putting in the essential amino acids. And because sometimes it's hard for me to get 150 grams of protein. I just don't feel like eating that much. So when I combine the amino acids, there's that insurance policy that I've got enough in my amino acid pool that my body can do whatever it wants. The essential amino acids you have to eat because your body can't make them. With all the essential amino acids, your body will make the other non-essential amino acids like arginine and amino acids like that. So that's what I do. And I want to encourage you guys, especially if you're older or if you're younger listening to this, I appreciate it. Send this to grandpa. Send it to grandma, especially if they're getting a little bony around the shoulders and starting to look a little frail. They're not eating enough protein, and they're probably not doing resistance training. And if they do that, they will notice. So if you're older, I want to challenge you to try this for 2 weeks and see what happens. You're going to feel better, and you really can put muscle back on in your 60s, 70s, 80s if you do this right. If you've been doing it all your life, great. The key is not to lose any more lean body mass, because all of this will affect your quality of life, and I think that's what's most important. So, again, if you guys like the content, subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, put them in the comment section. I do interviews with, like I said, personal trainers, doctors, and nutritionists. I own health clubs, and so I have access to all this, and I love the business. I'm having as much fun in this business as I ever have. If you have questions, put them in the comment section. You can check out more about me, find out more about me at stevemain.com. and more about my clubs and so on. And thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.